Hi everyone, this is Donna, and today I want to show you how I've been making these face masks. I've probably made about 1,000 of them. Notice they have elastic on the sides to go over your ears. I put 2 pleats in them, and I put a design on one side and a solid color on the other side. So this solid color goes against your face when you're wearing it, and this pattern will go outside that people will see as you're walking by. And the reason I do it 2 colors like this is so if you take the face mask off, like say you go shopping, you get in your car, you take the face mask off, and then you go to another store or somewhere else and you need to put the face mask back on, you won't accidentally put the exposed side up against your face, because you'll always know that this plain side is what goes against your face and this side goes out. So that way you don't accidentally put the exposed side against your face. I hope that makes sense. But that's how I've been making mine. So hang on with me and I will show you how I make these. Okay, so the first step is to cut out the 2 pieces of fabric. And I like to cut the 2 pieces out together. That way I know that they match exactly. So the ones I make, I cut them at 9. Hoping you can see that. I cut it at 9 inches. And then this way is about 6.5 inches. Okay? And that will give us the finished size that we want. So I cut the 2 pieces together. And then I sew a seam across the top. So right here, I would sew a seam. And if I turn it on this side, you can actually see the seam. I used white thread so you'd be able to see it better. Okay? Okay, so we do that. Then the next thing we want to do is put the elastic in. Now, you can pin this if you want. I don't pin it, but if you needed to pin it, you certainly could. But you're going to put your elastic right against that seam right there. Okay, and then you would just fold that over like so, and you're going to sew this in. And what I do is I do a couple back stitches to ensure that that stitch is strong, because this is going to get a lot of pressure. So you want to make sure that it's securely in there. Then you're going to go ahead and sew down until you want to be about the same distance from here as you are from here. So you could sew down to about here, and then you're going to put the other elastic in. Now, this is where some people may want to pin it, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that it is on there and there's no twist when you're sewing it. So it's going to be like that. So I'm going to go and sew this one in and the other elastic in so you can see how I do that. And I'll be right back. Okay, so here I used white thread and I sewed down the sides. You can see that, I hope. Sew down the sides with the white thread. And this side. So you can see both sides there. And then we said the main thing you want to make sure is that this is not twisted. So we got that sewed and it's not twisted. And that's the reason why I do the 2 sides first, just so it's just a little easier when you do the 2 sides first. Okay? So then the next thing we want to do is we want to sew this side closed. We're going to sew to about here, and on this side to about here. That way we have an opening here that we can use to turn it inside out. So I have one that I did that already for you. You can see that I stopped here and stopped here so that we could turn it. Okay. So here we have an opening. Okay. Now the next step is going to be to clip the corners, because we want our corners to be nice and sharp. Just make sure that you don't cut into where the seam meets there in the center. See, it's going to clip it so there isn't so much. I use my pinking shears for that. Make sure you don't cut the elastic. Okay, so there we have our 4 corners, and now we can go ahead and turn our mask. So you see the 4 corners are clipped. I'm hoping I did that in camera, but I have a feeling I didn't. So you see how the 4 you can see that they're cut right there. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and turn it. You can see how the corners came out pretty nice and square. Just turn it inside out like that. And there we go. Okay, you want to make sure your corners is square. If they're not, or you feel like you'd want them to be more square, you can just get something to poke them out. You just use a pin or a chopstick or just something that you can use to put them out. Okay, so then the next step here is going to be to sew around the edge. So I'm going to top stitch around the edge about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and that makes it look nice with the top stitch, but also at the same time it'll close our open seam. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I top stitched it, and this is what it looks like after it's top stitched. Did it all the way around the edges right here. So the next step is to make the pleats. So basically you just want to take your fabric like this and fold it, and then you can go ahead and put a pin in it. And do that on both sides. Just try to make sure that it is as even as possible. Okay, and then come down here and make another pleat. Get a pin in that. Okay. And if you want to put a pin in the middle just to help you as you're sewing it, you can do that. It's totally up to you. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go in about 1/4 of an inch, and we're just going to sew a straight seam down here. Right here where the pleats are, go ahead and do a back stitch and a forward stitch again, so that you're sure that those are down very well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so you can see here that I sewed about 1/4 of an inch in. Makes it kind of look like a double top stitch. And I did the same thing on the other side. Okay, so the last step then is to press. So you want to press this down really nice so it looks nice and neat. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are after we're pressed, and we are all finished with our face mask. So I want to thank you for watching today, and I hope to see you in the next video. For now, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you in the next video.